January, week 1, 2023, and I'm starting my first seeds. I am super excited. Here's what I want to tell you though, before I get into any of this. You do not need to start seeds this early. There is no need to start seeds this early. I am starting seeds early because I have the room for it. I have a grow room set up in my basement just for seed starting. Not just for seed starting, also for storing all of my stuff and my work office and many other things. But I have plenty of room. I've got things set up here so that I can start seeds in my basement. It's a place that I can come to every day and water and keep an eye on them. So I have the time, the energy, and the ambition to watch these seeds from now until April and May. Because that's the thing. When you start seeds very early, you have to take care of them for a very long time inside. They make a lot of moisture, a lot of earth smell. Brent does not like the earth smell in the basement. They also require upplanting. So if you start seeds small, if they're living in your house for a couple months, they're going to get slightly big. You need to put them in bigger pots. So I know these risks, and I'm going to start them anyway. I did this last year, and I don't try and go too crazy, but I do like to have a bigger plant to start out at the beginning of the season because I live in Michigan, and Michigan weather, the only thing that you can count on is that it is totally unpredictable. I've had years where I can get things out very early. I had a year where I got a freeze in June, and so you don't really know how your season's going to go. So for me to get good harvest, the bigger and more mature the plant is, the better for me. So I'm starting seeds. So there's my disclaimer. Don't feel like you have to start seeds now. Don't feel like you even have to start seeds at all. Buy plants. I sell tomato plants to all kinds of people in the spring. Go to your local greenhouse. Whatever. Whoops. That wasn't good. But now is the time for me to start seeds. So let me show you my calendar that just fell off the wall. Okay, calendar back up on the wall. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So I went and got this calendar purely for this purpose. It's my garden calendar. And I went through, and from the list of things that I would like to grow, I sat down and plugged them into weeks on the calendar. So January week 1, and I'm not necessarily going to plant everything on Sunday, Monday, or Wednesday, but I kind of did them in 2 batches of things, harvestable crops or things, that were a little more important. And then I added flowers along the side here. So the first week of January, I'm going to plant onions, celery, eucalyptus, artichoke, bells of Ireland, echinacea, agastache, bee balm, and coreopsis. And what I did there is I just did generic names of what they are. I'm not doing specific varieties on this calendar. I'm just saying, hey, I want my onions seeded early. My onions and celery are the first thing every year. Eucalyptus, I've heard can take a long time. I've never started it from seed. Same thing with artichoke, never started it from seed. I know it needs a long grow window. I'm going to start it early. Bells of Ireland, I have never been able to grow from seed. I heard it can take a while. And then with all of the flowers over here, with the exception of the violas, those can go out in very early spring. So I'm going to start those early. But the rest of them are all pretty much perennials for the first couple weeks. They are things that I'm just going to be adding into my landscape. So I'm just going to plant a couple little plants of them. I might keep one and sell 2. I'm not exactly sure. But I am going to give those a lot of time to get established because they might not flower this first year as a perennial in someone's garden. So the more time I can give them, the better. So I pulled all those seeds. That's why I checked those marks. And then I also pulled those geranium seeds that I found out in the garden the other day. And those are all going to get planted today. So it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow down a little thing. 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks of things to plant. And this isn't, be all, do all, end all. I can do this in whatever order I really want. Like you can see, I was not going to do geraniums until I got some seeds, but I found those seeds, so now I'm going to do them now. If next week I got really sick and didn't do anything on week 2, that is okay. I would just move on to week 3 and do a little bit here and there. If I get really excited one day and I want to do all my perennial flowers, I might do that too. There's no telling. But this is how I'm going to keep myself on track and make sure that all the seeds I want to start, I do start. Okay, so that's the seed calendar. Okay, very first thing I plant every year is onions, and I always do them in a container like this, one of these clamshell things. Mine held cookies, I think, from the grocery store. I have a set of old steak knives just for these kind of purposes, and I go through and I just put slits in the bottom for drainage. And then I'm going to pull out, hi Bella. Look at Bella got a bath. Hi. Hi, you're clean. You smell like a wet dog. I do love you, but watch out. All right, here's my bucket o soil. So this is all potting soil I got. And this is just one bag. I've got 5 more out in the van to bring in. But then I just put my container right inside here. So this is going to keep all of my mess in this giant bucket. And then I won't have to have a lot of cleanup. Now, this is already moistened. I don't know if you can kind of tell, because it was a bag I had sitting outside. So it got rained on and froze and whatever. So this is good. If this was dry, I would pre-moisten it before I put it in the container. Okay, and I'm just going to put it in and lightly pack it down. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. It's not going to be very deep. I'm just doing these onions. They don't have really deep roots at this point. And I'm basically just going to put them on top of wet soil because they're really small seeds and get them germinated. And then they will stay very small for the next month, if not 2. And then at that point, hey, Bailey, I will up pot them into bigger containers or put them outside. What are you yahoos doing? What's going on over there? I'm trying to make a video. I know. Do you want to be a star at YouTube? That is Bella. And that's Bailey. Bella is not quite a year and a half, and Bailey is 6 months old. And they are sisters. They have the same parents, but Bella is a little bit more short and squat, and Bailey got a little bit more spring in her step. She's a little bit skinnier and jumpy. All right, girls. So that's their dog bed. They like to hang out here. I also have cat beds over there. The cats hang out here. We spend a lot of time down here. Hey. Okay, back to my onion seeds. So here's my container. I'm going to say I got a little over 1 inch of soil in here, potting soil. It's already pre-moistened and patted down. And I'm going to start with these onions. Elsa Craig. These are a long day from Scotland. They're supposed to be 1 to 2 pounds a piece, sometimes up to 5 pounds. That has never happened for me. I have grown fresh eating onions. I've never grown storage onions. So this is my year for onions. So this is what the seeds look like. Oops, sorry. They're just small little black ones. And all I'm going to do is scatter them in here. And I got a second pack of them somewhere. Where you at, babies? Oh, right here. Right where I'm not looking. So I had those little seeds left over. Those are from last year. They're packaged for 2022. Don't throw your seeds away. They do not expire. Stores can't sell them, but that does not mean they expire. It just means that the stores have to get new seeds to put on their shelves. Okay, and I am just kind of sowing these pretty liberally, just kind of scattering them. I can't have too many onions. We use onions more than, you know what? There, whole bag. That was 75 seeds. I probably had 25 in here. We're going to say I got about 100 seeds in here. Now I'm going to go in and I am just going to pat all those seeds in so they make contact with that damp soil. And then I'm going to make a label for these because it seems very obvious that these are onions right now. And when they come up, it seems very obvious that they'll be onions. But when you get a bunch going, you always forget. You always forget. And you do chives and catgrass and other things that look the same, and you forget what you put it in. So I'm going to make a label for this. I'm going to put the top on with holes in it for airflow, and I'm going to stick it underneath the grow light. Okay, so I got all my varieties planted that I'm planting this week. So you saw what I did. I put celery on my list. Here's my varieties there. Celery. Down. I did silver dollar eucalyptus. This incredible swirl coreopsis. Super pretty. I did it last year. It should overwinter, but I got some just in case. Up front, I'm doing red Weathersfield onions and yellow sweet Spanish onions. That Ace Craig that I did is my main onion. That's like 100 some seeds. But I've got about 20 of each of these. One, I want to colorful red onions to see if I can get storage in red onions. And these ones are supposed to be really good in their long day. So I'm trying those as a backup. I can never have too many onions. If I have too many, I will share with other people. I have got Green Globe artichoke back there. Bells of Ireland, which I've never grown from seed, and I heard they're very, very difficult. You have to go ahead and give them some moisture, a lot of time, and even though the seeds are a little bit bigger, those are the seeds right there, you
Snap traps.
Hang on one second. You do need to sow them on the surface. Ava, did you see the ears have come up? This is Ava's right here. That's Mason's with the top on. Yours is right here. Ava's got a little dome garden going. It's got primrose, polka dot plant,
That's
and
even
lobelia.
primrose, polka dot plants, right? Like right here. The primrose is like these ones,
Yeah,
and then lobelia. Lobelia is
They're
like
small.
in front or behind.
Oh, so you got
But this one is like to the side.
Yeah.
Tortilla.
They're all up. Isn't that cool?
She is a princess, and there's 3 fairies.
Princess Fairy Garden. Nice.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Mason's has not got much more than moss in it still, so look at the dome on still. Next one's this raspberry daiquiri. I don't know. How do you say this, guys? Does anybody know? Is this agastache? I don't know. The end looks like mustache, so I call it agastache. I don't really know. That is right here.
Agastache.
You like that one? Agastache. The color's really pretty. Paradiso echinacea. That's a pretty pink double echinacea that I tried last year and was unsuccessful. Spotted bee balm. That's Monarda. Just get another one. So I am starting perennial seeds inside. Some of these may not flower this year. They might end up just being green this year and flowering next year. Some might make small flowers, but be better next year. But I'm just getting some more perennial plants going in my garden so that I have more flowers that come back year after year without me having to start them. That's kind of my goal every year, is to build up my perennials. And like I said, if I have extras, I have many gardener friends, and I will have no problem finding them homes. So I'm going to put a lid on this, and I'm going to go ahead and put it down here with my Ace Craig onions, and I will leave those lids on until everything has sprouted. Once it's sprouted, I'll take the lids off, and I will just make sure that they get watered. I bottom water everything, so I don't know if you can tell, but I took these 2-inch pots. I put them into a tray with no holes, and when I want to water this, I will not water on top. I might use a spray bottle to keep the top moist if it's drying out, but what I'll do is I will put water in the bottom tray, and it will wick up through the bottom of these containers, and it will keep the seeds from being disturbed and the little tiny plants from being disturbed, but it will keep the soil moist. So that is the plan. So week 1, round 1, done.
You know